Grew up in the Florence district, right?
I grew up in the Florence district. Shout out to the 9001 to 9003. They haven't figured it out yet, right? Hollywood hasn't figured out how to connect the Mexican American and the Mexican audience and cater to them as a whole. How South Central comes, Southgate, of course, Cudahy, how they were the first to really bring the corrido culture in LA.
What can the average consumer, the average person that lives in these communities that you're trying to shine a spotlight on, what can they do to push the culture forward? You start Cult Media, you have probably one of the hottest
Two buns, right?
in food history.
Low budget energy world.
Damn.
You fools are low budget, fool. You guys are working for a hard payment. That was a big risk to get Twisty Blue, right? Because nobody wanted to do stuff with Twisty Blue, right?
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding that people get wrong about you?
They get wrong that
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo, chilling right here inside the Lit Outlet Podcast. I got a very special guest in the building. I got Mr.
we got Prime Guy in the building, known to be working with Conejo. You might see me as a director, photographer, working with David Ayer, working with Shia LaBeouf, working with the deputy on Fox. We work with some of your favorite actors out there, some of your favorite rappers out there, Young Drummer Boy, Baldacci. You know, some of the people that I've worked with before, you know.
And also like the CEO of Cult TV, right? Cult Media.
CEO of Cult Media, phone. The CEO of Cult Media. That's where I launched a few months ago, and that's where we're at now. You know.
We have one of the most viral foods
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
on the YouTube Yarda right now.
Even that term, the YouTube Yarda, dog, like I have an issue with that because I just feel like, yo, don't box me in, fool.
Yeah.
You can't put me in the Yarda that way. I'm a fucking king, dog. I'm a lion in this bitch.
I never thought about it like that, but you're right. Like even the word Yarda means that you're
It's
locked
like
in the
you're
box.
caged, fool. And I told Gail, you run the Yarda, fool. I'm a free man, fool.
Ooh.
I have passport stamps, homie.
I'm the outs.
You know what I mean? You don't got a passport, don't talk to me, dog. Like, you can't even got stamps in your passport, don't even talk to me. We're not in the same field.
You know what? You know what's crazy, fool? That thing about that people love YouTube because anybody could just wake up and become a YouTuber. Anybody could turn on the camera and upload, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, you know, the Chicano space as far as podcasting, you probably have the most accolades out of everyone when it comes to like real credits as far as
Crazy.
working with like real movies, actual production, maybe even experience in years, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of fools are just YouTube famous right now, fool. And you're transitioning into the YouTube space. Why leave all that professional, executive, good, like professional money to try the YouTube shit?
And be with the low level ass niggas. Yo, look, this is what it is, fool. I know the media space is in the new space now. Like, I look at Vice as almost like a model where they do online content, they also do Netflix shows, and they do HBO shows. And why can I do all of that, right? And nowadays everybody's consuming more content on their phone than anything. And why not make that also a strong medium for me to do online content? At the same time, use some of these online content to pitch to the network to get picked up. Like, I am focused on a lot of Spanish content, which you're gonna see next week. I'm gonna go just that route, or a lot of Spanish and then a lot of Spanglish content, because I feel like that's where the culture is heading, and I gotta be a leader in that culture. You know, I gotta be a leader. I gotta be a powerful person in Hollywood, so that way I can open up doors and put my people in place and teach them to, yo, let's get off this low level shit. Let's think higher. Let's think bigger. It's a bigger world out there, you know. And for me, everything changed, bro, when pandemic changed a lot of people's shit, right?
Right.
I started traveling more, right? I went back home because I was born in, my family's from Jalisco, Michoacan, right? I was born in Michoacan. And I came here when I was 1 year old, so I just barely got back, 4 years ago for the first time. I've been to Mexico, but like to actually my hometown where I was from. And it kind of was a spiritual awakening where it's like, yo, the world's bigger than you thought it was, and there's purpose on everything. And so now I'm moving with purpose. If they ain't giving me purpose in life, I don't want to be involved with it. And people do get mad at me because, you know, I'm known to be around rappers, and a lot of rappers like, yo, work with me, sign me. I get a lot of that. But it's like, dog, if I don't feel it that you have it, because I'm very picky, I can't lie to you and tell you, yo, you're dope and you're going to make it. Because 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to make it. Or even 10 out of 10 sometimes.
Do you feel like sometimes I feel like, you know, I used to have a record label and I used to have artists, and I was thirsty to take anybody on or any interview just to kind of have any type of motion. Is that something where, like, in the beginning maybe you learned to not just take anything on, or you've always been super picky with everything?
No, in the beginning I was just like you know, just working with anybody, working with like even back then with Icon when he was rapping, working with the campaign, where Zapata the Ghost, working with a lot of rappers. You're trying to get your. I was a photographer back then more, so just get my photos, and that's how I got my with that and working with Conejo, because I was working with Conejo since 2006, even though I met him since in 2018. That's when I met him. But I was working with him for 2006. And knowing the industry, knowing what it is, what the reality is, it's not what people think it is, and then how to navigate in there and how to talk that language. Because a lot of people could be in this space, but if you don't know how to talk that language, you ain't going far. Like, once you get boxed in, you're not going far.
Hey, you grew up in the Florence district, right?
I grew up in the Florence district, shout out to the 9001 to 9003, Fremont, Bethune. I went to real fucking, crazy with Richard Villa, right? Me and him are actually raised in the same street.
No way.
Same high school, same middle school. we found that out. But yeah, I was raised in that area since I was in 92. That's when I moved there. That's why I use that term, since the riots, because since 92, I was living in South Central, went from East LA to South Central, Boyle Heights. And I love it there, bro. That's where I was raised. That's where I went. That's my community. So my family has homes there. I feel like that's my block, because we have family members that have a bunch of homes there. And that's where I'm comfortable there. So when people say, like, oh, you still live in South Central, like, oh, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not used to that, but my family, like, we're established here. Like, and on some like positive shit too, not on some like some hood shit.
Yeah.
And I think very forward thinking. I want my people to be better. I want us to do better in this culture space, and that's what I'm here like to do, Don Cole Media, to bring talent with me, the people that want to win, people that I know that they have it, or how people mold themselves into that as well. But that's where I see myself in this new revolution of Latino in Hollywood, right? I don't say Chicano. I don't like that word, Chicano. I feel like Chicano isolates the paisas away from it. And you know what? You think about it, there's more paisas winning in LA than there is Chicanos. With the highest business owners, who are they? The paisas, right? The people that are putting their kids through college, a lot of them are the paisas. So, like, using that word Chicano, to me, kind of isolates them out. And to me, this is the strongest force. We're in Southgate, I come from these areas where like it's very heavily paisa, and look, man, some of the best neighborhoods out here.
Yeah.
I love Southgate, I love Downey, I love what they do with Bellflower, Bell Gardens. Like, I love that it's super brown, and then it shows that they make great neighborhoods. People are able to raise their kids. Yeah, you're always gonna get the gang shit, right? Like anywhere, but you're able to raise a family well with good morals and stuff. And that's kind of what I teach my kids as well.
There's a sudden revolution of exploitation of our people, whether it's Hispanic, Mexicans, or Chicanos, whether it's social media or movies or TVs and shit like that. You being on the opposite end, not just consuming, but actually being behind the camera and stuff like that. Does it make you furious seeing these other people strong, or like, I would say, people with power in the industry exploiting us, and that's why you kind of wanted to come in kind of low-key, kind of like a superhero and do it the right way, or like a Batman type shit, or like why do you feel like it's important for you to dabble in the entertainment business when it comes to Hispanics?
Because look, they haven't figured it out yet, right? Hollywood hasn't figured out how to connect the Mexican American and the Mexican audience and cater to them as a whole. It's either one or the other, right? Either you do an amazing Spanish show, where it's like Narcos and all that, and then they'll try to do the Mexican American way, and 99% of the time they flop, or they only have one season. And it's because they try to clean this up. They try to make the perfect Latino, and it's like, dog, we're edgy, we're gangster, we're humble, we're great people, we're bad people, we're everything, They'll stop trying to make us into a mold. And also we're far removed from the whole Chicano East LA, blood in, blood out, the whole aura, right? Can nobody relate to that no more? Especially where the money counts, which is LA. LA is a fast-paced city. And that's what I realized when I traveled, when I went to New York, Denver, I went through all these states, and I feel like, damn, these fools are on some 90s shit. We're on some, like, they expected me and Conejo to be all banged out, fucking, we show up with, like, fucking fitted jeans and fucking, like, some nice shit, fool. some Jordans, some nice shit, some nice swag. Like we're not, and they're like, yo, we thought you guys were like
Davis,
yeah,
Pendletons.
we thought you guys were the yeah, that was the culture back then. Like we gotta progress. Like if you don't progress, if you don't evolve, my opinion, if you don't evolve, you die. And Latinos, the raza, they're very traditional, right? So that's kind of been like a lot of them, they stuck to their ways, or hey, oh, it's tradition. And like sometimes you gotta break the tradition to make shit happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta gamble this, and then that's what I'm here for, dog. To like, I feel like I have the taste, I have the eye for it, and I know what could work. And you know what? I'm a big film buff. I'm a big Game of Thrones guy. I'm a big, like, I love great TV. I love Euphoria. I love like a lot of these great shows. And like, where's our show like that's that? Like, where's our HBO show? We always have these whitewash, Gentefied. Shout out to all the homies from Gentefied, but like them, they only lasted one season, canceled. Because I get it, like, why are Paisas speaking in English in this series? I don't understand why are they speaking in English. Like just forcing it to mold it into the white America. And white America is never going to support it. We have the numbers to support our own. It's just that we don't know how to cater to our own. And that's what I'm here for, to learn what I learned behind the scenes. And I work with like fucking amazing people, like being around Shia LaBeouf, working with him, and like even that relationship, how that evolved. And like I didn't go in there as like, oh, yo, I was a fan of your movie. Never told him anything about any movies he did. I was just there being myself, and I let him gravitate toward me. And that's what happened. He gravitated towards me, and we're smoking blunts, and we're chilling, and I'm getting invited to his events, and he shouted me out in the stage next to David Blaine and Baby Keem, and yo, shout out to my homie Prime right there, and being able to watch the tax collector next to him, sitting down, eating popcorn, eating fucking pizza. And I never asked him for a picture, dog. I've never asked him for a picture. I never asked him for like, yo, none of that. I never asked him for his number, because I just feel like, yo, you gotta play your role. Let that relationship build to where it becomes something real, and not you don't become just a fan, because they're gonna look at you as a fan.
Yeah.
Once they place you as a fan, they're gonna not gonna like, especially Shia. You mentioned Transformers or Shia, he'll probably sock you up, bro. I swear, he'll sock you up. I think he'll sock you up. I seen that fool get down like 3 times behind him, like during the movie production.
Yeah.
He got down like 3 times. He's about it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the people that I work with. David Ayer too. David Ayer's my dog. David Ayer, I watch him film like $5 million episodes of a series, and be there in production with him, and study him, and see how he handles talent, see how he shoots, see how he sees how he runs production. And I got to see it from like the Tax Collector movie from the beginning to the end, and him inviting me here, him reaching out to me, him texting me, him like reaching out to me for some cool shit. Yo, ask me questions about culture. Yo, this, kick it with him, and like it's just, I treat people like people at first. I don't treat them like yo, you're amazing. Yo, let me, yo, you need this. Nah, just let the energy flow. I feel like if you let the energy flow, people get to know who you are. People want to work with who they like in this industry, dog. They want to work with who they like. If they like you, you'll be part of that production. That's why, like Adam Sandler, right? He's always put his people on. It's because he likes working with his people, and they're all famous, right? They all became big actors. All the people that he kept putting throughout the movies, they all became something. So I want to be the same thing, I want to bring people with me that I feel like are great in the space, and they could take it beyond me. It could help me, not be an asset. I'm not here to bring people like just to fucking drive me around. Like, no, if I put you in position, I want you to know that you're the great person for that position, and that you're not gonna let me down when we're in war. And by war, like production,
Yeah.
Because production is war.
A battle.
Where you gotta figure this out. Well, you know what? The lighting is not looking good. The sun is down, so now you gotta switch the whole scene and figuring it out. And I want to make sure that everybody in that fucking room or in that space is doing everything to the maximum as it can. And that's what. That's kind of what I see Cole as that, Right now you see the online content, but what you don't see is behind the scenes. Who I'm pitching to, who I'm writing movies with. They don't see that, because I do have some movies in the works. I'm writing one right now. And that one was brought to me by a huge director. He's like, yo, I'll produce it, you direct it. So I'm working with that right now, and I've been growing in that space. That's new to me, dog. Writing scripts, nothing that I've done before. But during the pandemic, I forced myself to even get into that writing. And I've been writing a couple different projects. One of them is a series that I'm based on my area and the evolution of corridos in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and how South Central, Compton, and Watts were, also Southgate, of course, Cudahy, how they were the first to really bring the corrido culture in LA and cultivate it here, where they're trying to perform El Parral on the street, dog. Where everybody was cruise through Pacific, right? On Sundays. I want to bring that because I feel like the corrido boom it's not you have now is amazing. I love it. And I want to tell the story of how it started here because back then, if you were in Boyle Heights, if you bumped corrido, you were a paisa. Hey, get that shit out of here. But now you're in South Central, and now a lot of the homies are all straight. They're with the business, but they talk Spanish first, and they'll be with their Jordans on. Hey, wait. So they'll say the N word and hey, wait in the same sentence. Hey, wait, get that nigga over here. You know what I mean? That's South Central, that's Compton, that's Watts, that's Southgate, that's Linwood, that's Cudahy. Those areas, and that's where I'm here to represent for that authenticity from our people. And appreciate the Mexican culture as a whole. I feel like people are too scared to go over there, so they try to dismiss it. But when you go over there, you be like, that's where the money's at. You see a lot of opportunities there. My family's well off over there. So I redone my whole retirement going to Michoacan for just to see my tia living in a crazy fortress, lakeside, neighbors from France, neighbors from Paris. I mean, same spot. France from Germany, and those are her neighbors. And they're enjoying our country and having amazing fucking palaces there and living it up. And we're over here oh, Mexico's this, Mexico's that. But it's the whole world is there. There's so many Canadians that retired in Jalisco, Chapala. If you go to the lake of Chapala, there's all Canadians living in all beach houses or whatever, frontal properties. And we're over here fuck over there, over there's a lot of opportunities. If you keep it a buck, there's way more successful actors that are Mexican. Shout out to Diego Luna. There's way more successful directors that are Mexican, not Mexican American. A lot of these Oscar winners, in the last 10 years, 5 of those top film awards were given to Mexican directors that were born in Mexico. And it's because they're not stuck in this mold of institutionalized views and shit. I feel like they just paint. They just are artists. And that's what I'm here to be, a fucking artist, motherfuckers. That's what I'm here to be, dog.
I like that. What can the average consumer, the average person that lives in these communities that you're trying to shine a spotlight on, what can they do to push the culture forward? Because I feel like a lot of us, are watching Star Wars and watching these big American culture shows, Stranger Things. Maybe we're not paying attention to the avenues or the outlets, right? Shout out to the lit outlet. Mm-hmm. The outlets.
Shout out to the lit outlet. So he's signed to Co-Media today.
We'll see. But the numbers are right. Let's get it.
The numbers are right.
But what is something that the average consumer that wants us to maybe follow along or agrees with your vision, what could the average consumer do to help?
We need more. We need to push our kids into these spaces. We need a bigger pool of actors in Mexican Americans. Fool. I feel like they're always choosing the same fools. I don't want to name their names, fool. But there's the same fools that are speaking that East LA language. The same motherfuckers. Shout out to East LA. I love East LA. It does not even go there, but just the same puddle of the Mayan actors. You know what I mean? That same being shared throughout the whole industry, and it's we need a bigger pool, fool. We need more new faces. New faces. That's why I encourage new faces. Tired of the old faces. I'm tired of the same tattoo artist always being shown. I'm tired of the same photographer always shown. I'm tired of the same brand always shown, dog. I'm tired of the same thing always being shown, and it never elevates anywhere. It just stays there. They'll go with the the huge brands. They'll go with the easy pick. Oh yeah, I think he's the most known. Let's go with him. Instead of let's give the new guy that's better, that's transforming the culture differently. They'll go with the one that's been recognized for the last 10, 20 years. Yeah. And that's what I'm here to do. Crack that shit open, but with the backing of heavy hitters. Because behind the scenes, for the ones who don't know, we're constantly pitching shows. Even with Conejo has a couple shows that he's pitching to the networks. Conejo's shooting his own pilots with big money productions. Like he's out there in Mexico shooting pilots and pitching right now, you know. And that's kind of what I also learned with Conejo, like being part of that journey. We both grew in this space, you know. Conejo came out of jail to a leading role in a Shia LaBeouf movie, you know, and how to maneuver that. And like, yo, coming from jail to be in it, to having a script, you're thinking you're gonna be a cholo number 2, 3, 4. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, you're the main guy, the main villain, and who you beefing it with? Shia LaBeouf. You know, and for Conejo to even adapt to that environment, to be, when he's rehearsing for a role, next thing you know, Shia pulls up, like nothing, and then embraces him. Oh, I heard so much about you, Conejo. What's up, fool? Bam, bam, being a homie. George Lopez pulls up, like Leonardo Parrilla pulls up, and like all these big people pull up, and it's like damn. And also we had to learn how to grow in that space. That we know that everybody's playing their role. They're not your best friend. They're not your friend. They're just, because that role benefits them, they're gonna play a friend, you know, behind the scenes. And you gotta understand that and not take it personal. And into your actual friend. You know you're an actual friend when they're calling you outside of that job, you know. But that's what you gotta separate. Everybody is here is fake, but you know everybody's here to fake it into you. I feel like it's cool to fake it, meaning like you don't gotta show your full self until you know if it's the right people to show your full self, you know. Because not everybody's gonna take that like lightly, you know. You feel like you gotta know who you're talking to, know who you're with, and know your surroundings and pretty well, and know how to grow, and know how to put your ego to the side. Like, yo, we're not in the hood, fool. We're here. There's this fool that one of the main direct producers from Batman is next to me, the DC. Like the guy that helped David Ayer do Suicide Squad is next to me while we're watching David Ayer work. You know, Shia LaBeouf is right there. Shia LaBeouf is hugging me, and I'm just acting like everything is normal to me, dog. Like, cool. Like,
You're talking about Tax Collector, right?
yeah.
On that set, what was your role? What were you specifically doing?
I was obviously working with Conejo on that. We were working on some technical advisory stuff. You know, working with Shia on the technical advisor. The homie Jay was, because Shia was not imitating, but playing the role of a white homie there, right? And my homeboy Jay, a Russian homie, 6'5", 6'6", ass fool. He's a homie, and that was his main technical advisor. So Shia's role was to pick up game from all of us and try to adapt that into the script. And I know we got backlash, like, yo, he's doing brownface. But a lot of these people that were saying that, they were from Bakersfield, like, like there's a certain director I don't want to mention, but he was like, yo, they're doing brownface. Like, yo, you say that because you're from Bakersfield. But over here in Glendale, over here in the Valle, there's a lot of white homies if you don't know what the fuck. Like, you choose to just knowing East LA, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know? Because you don't know how to tap in with the culture correctly. You know? And also at the end I was able to do there was a press press interviews that I did for them where I interview with, shout out to Carmen Marquez, who's Telemundo, working with Telemundo now. Oh, she left Telemundo, but now working with Amazon. But with her, we hired her to interview all the cast, Latino cast. And that promotion went through the whole world. And that's what I did with them as well. And then landing out to the deputy and then working with Conejo then, because he was also in the deputy, and just being being next to David Ayer, that's what was my role for. Be next to David Ayer, see how he shoots, and just observe. Because I wasn't there for a lot of people, when they get invited to sets, they're there for the free food, right?
Yeah.
Fucking lobster rolls, food, this and that. I was there to like learn, fool. I wasn't there to fucking rub elbows with fucking this rap actor and this. Nah. I'm there to talk to the people, talk to the executives, talk to the people that are funding this project, because that's who the ones that put people on. All these actors that you kiss ass to are kissing their asses. So you gotta know who's really running shit and see like, oh, okay, this guy wrote it. Oh shit. No, this guy produced it. This guy directs it. These are the heads of this production. Not just that. Some people will go with the actor like, oh, they're gonna put me on. Hell no, they're not gonna put you on. The guys they're gonna put you on are these guys right here that are quiet and they're just doing their job. And that's one thing that I know how to do. Like, I know who is the most important person in that room, and find a way to just create an organic moment to connect with people. Don't force it. I always tell the homies, have self-awareness, fool. Like, don't force energies. Don't try to be like, yo, hey, I'm a big fan of you. Yo, it'll be double. We could work together. I'm like, like you can't. So you shot yourself in the leg right there. People don't want like that. You know, people don't want to talk about work outside of work. So that's the kind of thing what I learned, and learning from David Ayer a lot, dog. Like to this day, I'm learning from him. To this day, he invites me to his premieres, like the one, the Beekeeper, the one he just dropped, made 200 mil. Quick flex, quick flex, 200 mil. Well, I was there like at the Amazon function, and he shot me. I looked the homies right there, and I was like, oh shit, like, and I'm like, damn, that was crazy. And you know what was fun? What was dope about it? During that premiere, me and Conejo's seats were supposed to be right next to him. But we're the type of guy that we don't bother people, right? So we're already in the list. That's enough for us. We go get our seat, sit whatever we want to sit, and next thing you know, we get a text from his manager, like, hey, you guys supposed to sit right next to Dave. Like, but we're not the type of guy who's supposed to be like, yo, like, be so like, don't ask. Just if they hook you up with a pass, yo, I just enjoy it, have a good time, know how to move in that party, and hopefully you get invited to the next one. And then next thing you know, you get invited to the John Bertha birthday party. And then next thing you know, he's giving you shroom, and you shrooming it up with the homie. Next thing you know, like, we're kicking it. Yeah, shrooming it up with John Bertha, fool.
Heavy dose or light dose?
I don't know what I was just taking him for. Look, I met John Bertha with Conejo. We did the Real Ones podcast. He invited us to his house in the middle on the 805. In the middle of this fucking mountain. Met him up there. Me and him started talking about kids, right? Like, oh, his kid was 10, my kid was 10. Oh, what do you guys do? My kid's into coding, right? He's a coder. He loves to code shit. He's like, oh, my kid's a coder. He's 10 years old. Like, we should have played it. Hey, get my number down, right? John Bernthal, fool. I'm like, all right, I'll get your number down. I've never called him, fool, because you don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
You do not call John Bernthal. So I just saved it. Dope. We had a dope ass interview with Conejo. A couple months later, come through. The interview comes out, and then I get a text from his producer like, yo, John Bernthal wants you and Conejo to show up to his birthday party. So I put you in a +1. So at that point, I didn't make I wasn't a +1 no more. That's why I tell the homies, hey, work hard till you're no longer a +1, dog.
Sick.
But if you get the +1, appreciate that +1, dog. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, he gave me my own +1 and Conejo's +1. I didn't bring a +1 because I felt like I didn't have a homie that was appropriate for that big setting, fool. Because I ended up being in a dinner with some black producer homie that was a producer in Game of Thrones, the homie that directed the new Bob Marley movie across from me the table, the homie from Twilight next to between me and that homie. We were just having regular conversations about Santa Monica and this and gangs of Santa Monica. They got, whatever, just talking regular ass shit. And the next you know, I see actresses that were part of like iconic movies just like across from me. I'm like, damn. Just crazy, and us too. Like, we're not bugging John Bertha in the party. We just hanging out. He comes to us, and then we have a good time. Oh shit! Oh, I got mushrooms. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, fuck it. Today is my first day doing mushrooms. Fool.
Oh shit!
Pop them. Lovely fucking drinks. Conejo. We'll drink all night, dancing. The whole crowd, the whole there, having a good time. Fool. And this is where I felt like I was at home. Fool. Because like, yo. And then I met another homie called Dre Mills there too, which I'm on about. I have him on the podcast too, who's Mike Tyson's main videographer and brand manager as well. Raza ass fool. So John Bernthal like, oh, I want you to meet Dre, where's he at? Hey, come here, look, fool. Kind of putting us together. Yo, Raza, dog, like, it's dope. You guys are both here. Oh shit, I work for Mike Tyson directly. Boom, boom, boom. We connected. A few weeks later, this was in the hotel room with Mike Tyson and Kanye West in Dubai, fool. I was like, that's crazy, dog. Like, that's who I want to work with, fool. Homies that are in those situations, because like representing us with work and ethics and shit. And man, I love Kanye West. Kanye West, if I ever get to meet you, dog, you already know you're God. You already know Drake. Drake is our sons. We'll talk about that later.
Those are homies again.
They're homies again, yeah. But yeah,
they started following each other.
But that's kind of like, dog, that's kind of how I move, in this space, and to this day, like, just continue to work. And you know what? It's dope to see when I launched Cold Media. David Ayer reached out. Yo, I want to bring my fiance there. I want to talk to you. There's things that we got to do. Yada yada. Dope, But even with that, like you gotta know when, like, to take that and just like dope, but let the opportunity come when it comes. Don't be like, oh, when you told me so and so, you can't do that. So I've been in situations where like even like with Cypress, with Be Real, right? With Be Real, Conejo, David Ayer, and Prayers, Kai Von D's. I don't know your Kai Von D's husband,
Yeah,
Prayers. And then David Ayer's like, yo, for Prime, like just letting you know, fool, I got some shit on the pipeline that's major. He's like, you're next, fool. Like, you're next. Like, you're next. Just know that. I'm like, cool. But even that, I take it like, I appreciate that for acknowledging my work. But, when they come, they come. You're not going to be like, oh, remember when you said that? Remember when you said that? Nah. All of that comes when the time is right. Because remember, he's an artist himself. David Ayer is an artist himself. And, when the right art comes and he feels like I'm the good guy for that art, I'll be put in position to win there. And that's kind of been my journey with them, with David Ayer and Conejo in that aspect, with Bernthal but that's part that's part of the whole David Ayer Academy, right? John Bernthal, Fury with David Ayer. He directed that movie. Shia, Fury, David Ayer. So this part of the David Ayer family, and it's dope to be a part of that. Dope to be invited, to get my own invite, and it's great. Like to get my own invite now, and that's why I tell the homies, yo, work your ass out until you're no longer a plus one. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But appreciate that plus one, dog. Appreciate it, because Conejo, I fuck with you for always being his plus one was great. We've done it we travel everywhere, dog, and experienced a lot. We've seen a lot, and I'm happy for his success. Happy for Conejo's success, what he's doing now at Lionsgate. He has a movie coming out soon. He filmed in Colombia. He spent a whole month in Colombia filming that movie, and it's about to come out in October. Right now he's in Lionsgate right now doing some marketing meeting and shit. But that's my space, dog. That's where I feel. And I had to remind myself recently. I had to remind myself who the fuck I was. Like, I'm like, why am I trying to get a fan base with these low level ass fools? The fool world. Like, why do I even care about them? They're gonna be stuck broke. There is no fucking powerful homie in that space. There is not even one powerful homie in that space. And why am I even caring about that world? I'm over in this world. I'm with I'm in that space. I'm with the people that matter. I want to shout out Jesse Garcia, fool. Jesse Garcia, which is the lead actor for the Hot Cheeto movie, right? Because I watched him work. First time I met him was on the Tax Collector set, which was 2018, right? And he had a tiny little part in that movie, right? And a lot of the other bigger Latino actors were downplaying the homie, right? Like, oh, we have way more cholo roles than you, right? Whatever. They were acting like they had way more credits than him. He's a humble homie, but I see there's something about that night that we got invited to an event. It was an HBO event. It was, that movie, Washington in the Heights, the movie that was a musical?
No.
It was like a Latino movie, but it was like a big one they were pushing. So we got invited to a mixer. And I met the homie there. I seen him, right? And I'm like, oh, this was gonna be somebody. I could see how he gravitates energy. And he was the one that nobody really cared for, like the other actors that were bigger. But look at him now. And he had a lead role in a major movie, and none of those people that were hating on him don't even have that, But to still see him just be an artist and just know his time is coming and continue working. And now everybody's like, oh shit, I knew you had it in you. Like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But shout out to Jesse Garcia. I really like his story is dope because my kids love that movie, My kids love that movie, so I just felt like you touched the culture in a different way. Shout out to Annie too. Yeah.
You start Cult Media, you have probably one of the hottest 2 months.
2 months, right?
In fucking food history.
Prime God.
And you just said that you don't even want to be part of it. You brought out Cholo Juan with that 100,000 view interview in like a day or something. You go on everyone's podcast. You kick up dust. You stir the pot.
Yeah.
How did you get sucked up? And what do you think about it now that you went through that little 2 months
little spurt
of full fucking
full world, the full low budget energy world.
Damn.
You fools are low budget, fool. You guys are working for a fucking car payment. I'm working for a fucking skyscraper, fool. We're not the same. You're gonna stay in your section. You're gonna stay in your area. You're not gonna fucking buzz. It's just because, okay, let's go back. Okay, so I had a 2-3 months spurt of that, right? What I learned, how easy it is to get those guys. How easy it is for them to notice you. and how low level it is to get to, how easy and fast it is to brainwash that community. And I just had to teach them how, like, yo, I could do that too. I could do the same thing that all you other foods are starting for $500 type of sponsorships. I could do the same thing too. Kick up dust and say some shit. Because at the end of the day, they're not me. At the end of the day, they're from the outskirts of LA. At the end of the day, they're from the middle of nowhere. At the end of the day, they haven't been in the culture. They're not part of the culture at all. The culture is the center of where we're at, you know, this area, LA, like that's the culture right there. They're not a part of it. So, like, I learned that, like, yo, I have to remind myself who the fuck I am, dog. Like, I'm an artist. I create. I shoot better than all you fools. You know, I shoot the videos better than all you fools. I write better than all you fools. So I don't give a fuck about, like, being only in that space. That's my people, though. And I want them to support what we're doing, but that's not where I'm staying, fool. I'm heading towards the Spanish content. I'm heading towards the Paisa Corrido content to unify, to make a bridge between LA and Mexico cinema, and be able to be known in both countries and work with Mexican actors, with Mexican talent, and bring them here. Same time, bring Latinos out from here to South America, Latin America, you know, as a whole. And that's kind of like, you know what? It left a bad taste in my mouth, though. Pause, yeah. Because it just shows that we're so low budget, like we're so like low budget, thirsty for a $500 sponsorship. Well, y'all fools will do the most for a $500 sponsorship. It's a lot of corporate snitches out there, dog. Like oh, don't fuck with this food because this food does this. Oh, you know, don't fuck with this food because this food is this. Like to corporate people. And, you know, like to be like, oh shit, you guys are just fighting for crumbs out here. You know, but I knew that though. I knew that. So I just had to remind myself, like, cool, like, you guys are not stamped up like me. So we're not the same. You know, and I'm for the world. I'm not only for my people, but I'm for the world. I'm representing my people, but for the world. And that's where I feel. And what do you think? What from your perspective, how do you see my movements? I want to see what you think. You know,
I feel like you definitely disrupted the movement. I feel like I have to keep calling the YouTube Yarda. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself part of the YouTube Yarda. You know, I'm not.
Why not?
I've never been.
You actually are.
I'm not I've never been to prison. I don't really focus on drama and like beef and shit like that. Like I could have a guest on here that is hardcore beefing it with somebody that's part of the food community, the community of foods.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even ask him about the drama, you know, because I don't really give a fuck like that. Yeah, like I don't really give a fuck about drama like that or like who's beefing it, because you know, like this shit gets real out here, fool. Like
it gets real out here, fool.
Like I got dead homies.
It gets real out here.
I got dead family members, and like I don't want to be the reason why some beef got further out because they saw a fucking clip.
Yep.
You feel me? Like to me, it's not worth, like you said, the $500 sponsorship. And I want to be able to walk outside with my son wherever I go to, dog. So to me, there's more important things to do than to be part of the drama. I hope that my content can push through the drama and just be accepted for what it is, you know, which is like just getting deep. Like so far, this interview has been great because I feel like no one has this interview that we have right now, where as far as like we're getting really deep into the thoughts and the background of you. Because I've seen interviews where you're like, they just keep asking you the same question. Why are you beefing with this fool? Why do you call him this name? Like, who cares?
Beavers in the chat. Yeah, that's what I call my haters, for beavers.
Yeah? Why do you call them beavers, fool?
They just look like beavers most of the time, fool. They're just angry at the world, and I don't give a damn about them, fool. That's why I call them beavers. Yeah. You know, you catch that bar.
Every time you say beavers, they go, damn. And then like, oh shit, the beavers build dams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man, that's why, and not to a particular person, because I know people think that's a particular person, but you know, I consider my haters beavers, so they're just gonna get stuck in there and they're gonna flow with the river. And
also, too, like I feel like, you know, going for the quick, like for example, if I were to ask you about like, for example, like why do you hate on fools that live in Bakersfield or that live somewhere in the desert? Because you make that comment a lot about like, oh, this fool's just hating because he lives in the desert and pays $100 a month for rent.
And that's specifically to one podcaster. Because they talk about being from the city, being LA tatted up, and it's like they're kicking up dust, but they're living in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah?
Like you're kicking up dust in the LA, you're talking about people from that culture, and you're not even from the culture like that. Like you're an outsider. You're really literally an outsider. You have no work out here. You have no accolades out here. You didn't contribute to this cloth. I contribute to this cloth. My work is in. I have galleries. I've done shit. People know me. You know, I have fucking amazing videos out there. I have amazing photography. I've worked with a lot of people. Shout out to Echoes World. Work with a lot of people, and that's why I not to shout out to Bakersfield, not to people to downplay anybody from those areas. It's just for certain individuals that like to tell us how LA should be, how LA should be represented. Like what you know, you're not even from here, fool. Like you're not even from area in this area. You don't have family out here like that. You can't even walk through here. You talk about certain areas that you never walked through. I walked through every street in LA, from Hoover to Figueroa to Florence, Slauson, Manchester, Firestone, Pacific, through fucking Alvarado, through Sunset, through fucking the West Side, to La Brea, to the jungles, through the everywhere. I'm in LA. I'm an LA baby, fool. Like I wasn't raised here, but I'm an LA baby. Like my family's everywhere here, flourishing too, flourishing, raising their families and shit. And that was my issue. Like, yo, don't talk for us, dog. Like, we're here. Like, our culture is here. I represent it, and this is my people.
Yeah, like, to me, like what I'm saying is like it could be easy. Like, I could ask you, who are you talking to? Fool, tell us, and that would be something that'll stir up dust. And to me,
It's the beaver.
to me, it's like I don't really care about that kind of shit. You feel me? Like I would like to push the culture forward, and any, one interview at a time.
Yeah, you know what? I've been having I got a couple calls this morning from like people that I hold dear, and they're like remind yourself who you are. Like these fools aren't nothing, and they're just working for a car payment, you know, and they're just struggling and not happy in life. You have happiness. You travel. You do this. You do that. You're here. You're invited to the better events. You know, they consider you for this. You do this. You do that. Like remind yourself that you're not the scum. So fuck you, scum ass motherfuckers. No, so like an issue that I've been having is the N-word phone. I'm trying to cut it back, you know?
Yeah, I used to say the N-word a lot. Fool. I feel like fools in this area say it's way too.
Of course, you guys do. I see you out fools all the time.
Yeah, you do too. I'll tell you off camera. One time we were in a place where there was a lot of us, and we had to stop saying it because some fools were getting offended that you were calling that word. You know, I'll tell you off camera about that.
But even that, like the Crips, the Bloods, the Hoovers, the 60s, the real gangbangers, they know that we don't mean it like that. Because I'm around these guys, you know? I'm around these people like that are from the main cloth in LA. And they would like, dog, you're my nigga. And nah. We know that you guys don't mean it like that. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Now, somebody that lives in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they're not raised with that culture, they'll look at you differently, you know? They'll be like, yo, why are you saying that? Or do you have guys you were raised with that's okay? Because if you did, then yeah, I understand. But if you don't, then you really can't say it. But some people use it as a crutch too. A lot of people use it as a crutch. They'll lean in that word because it makes them feel more like more street. Without like, I mean, for me, it's natural, but I'm trying to cut it back like 90% of it. You know.
My neighbor right here, one of my best friends growing up, that fool was black. So we used to call that fool that. He used to call us that. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. But like around 20 years old, you know, my son was born and I stopped hanging outside like that. So I've noticed that maybe by the time I was 25 or 26, like, why am I still saying it? Like, there's no real reason to say it, but sometimes it'll slip out, fool. Like, I'll call my son that sometimes because, you know, usually it's a term you say with your homies or people you love.
Fool.
People that you love.
Yeah, of course.
Like, this fool or whatever, you know, instead of fool, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you call me on my bad, fool? It's
kind of like a great little action word there, fool. Like, you use it. But with people that you love, though.
Yeah.
Because you don't catch me when, I recently worked for the BET Awards this past year, this year. And, I understand, like, I'm in a different space where not everybody here is from LA. Most people are from Atlanta and other things. And you know when to, like, oh, shit, this place is like a full no because you got to respect everybody's ancestry. Just because a fool from LA says yes doesn't mean that somebody from Atlanta or somebody from LA might say no. But it's how they come at you. They do most times they come at you, hey, dog, that word. I'm like, oh, but they understand that we don't mean it in a racial term, you know? We know it's rap, fool. I'm from South Central, dog, the home of the best rappers in LA, dog. Aside from Compton, yeah.
Compton's pretty lit.
Yeah, Compton's pretty lit, fool. We have Kendrick.
You can't even.
Well, we have Kendrick. Get out of here with that tattoo, homie. I have an issue with that.
What's the issue, dog? You hate Drake? Or
nah, I don't. I actually bump Drake. I was just like,
who doesn't bump Drake, fool?
I was just like, okay, question about that.
Fools that say that they don't bump Drake are lying, dog.
I bump Drake all the time. I bump Drake more than J. Cole.
Yeah, I don't like J.
I
Cole
just
at
feel
all,
like
fool.
J. Cole's more of a beta than an alpha.
J. Cole be putting me to sleep, dog. I remember for a long time I didn't like that fool, and then finally he came out with the song with Drake, and I was like, okay, this shit's pretty fire.
With
I was
Drake.
like, this shit's
Which
pretty
one?
fire.
First person shooter?
Yeah,
I
that's just
love that
hard.
song. It's hard that song.
But I've always thought of that fool, like you said, like a beta, like he's not really the top 3, and then all of a sudden he bows out of the fucking beef, the rap battle.
Yeah.
Like I knew there was a reason I liked this.
I knew you had a white mother, fool.
But what's your issue with Drake, dog? Or you just love Kendrick more?
I love Drake. I fuck with Drake heavy. I bump Drake fucking all the time. Fool. I love when he pop his shit. But at the end of the day, he's definitely a guest in the culture.
Okay.
You know, the day he released like 100 gigs of videos.
Right.
You see Drake for who he is, fool. This fucking Jewish kid that's super like very Drake, and how he switches it up when he's around the culture. That's when oh shit, this was definitely an actor. Like, because you know actors.
And a good one too.
Yeah, a good one.
Look at how much I'm not saying he's fooled us, but look at how easily he assimilated.
Yes, fool. He was raised like even like Rick Ross said, yo, fool, you were raised in our studios, holding guns. We raised you. Like you were so like, oh shit, happy about that. But I fuck with Drake now. Just right now, he's wanting to say because the whole Kendrick shit. Of course, he fucking smoked him. You know, Kendrick is the greatest rapper of all time when he's done.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's the greatest rapper of all time. He's really good.
When he's done, he's gonna be the greatest rapper of all time.
Oh, when he's done,
Yeah.
not yet. Okay, I agree.
On albums, there's only one guy bigger than him. Albums, is Kanye West.
You don't think Drake has bigger albums? You
Nah.
talking about numbers, sales,
Talking
or
about
just
more
move the culture than
the art in that album.
Do you like the last one he did, the show?
I loved it.
I didn't like it.
I loved it.
I didn't like it.
I love because remember, Kendrick doesn't give you the same thing twice. Drake does. How many controllers do you see out there? Controller. How many flows does he does with that? You see a bunch of those, fool.
Yeah, but to me, like I feel like Drake is tapped in, fool. Like he knows what the people want and he gives it to you. Where Kendrick is more of like the artsy guy, where he like, if you don't like what I like, I don't care. I'm gonna put whatever I want.
A real artist.
And that's it.
A real artist.
Yeah, but I feel like Drake is like, how would I say, like
Drake is McDonald's, Kendrick is In-N-Out.
Nah. I would say Drake is more in and out, and then Kendrick is like, I would say like maybe a fine dining restaurant that you go once a year to.
I'll put it better for you. I've always said this. Kendrick is Prince, Drake is Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I like that. I like that comparison too, but
Meaning there's a lot of components to Drake. Prince, give him a mic, give him a guitar, and he's gonna do what he gotta do.
and maybe this too. Maybe I just don't relate with Kendrick as much as I do with Drake.
Yeah. See, for me, it's not even about relatability, fool.
I don't.
Because it's like, how are you gonna relate to Kendrick? Like from Compton, like how are you gonna relate to that? Like, you can't relate to that. You can't relate to being black. You can't relate to all that.
Yeah.
We can't. Like even with Drake, I don't look for rappers to relate to, fool. I feel like Kendrick just as an art piece, his videos are better. They're cinematic. They have message. And you know what? He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, fool. And he's from the culture. From the culture completely. He doesn't have to fake it. And he drops when he wants to drop. And you know what? Even though you didn't like that album, the album still sold 300K first week. So it was still a success.
You believe that he bought the bots? There's a rumor saying that.
Nah, I don't believe he bought the bot. I believe the industry bought the bots.
I feel like everyone buys bots nowadays.
No, I feel like the industry. And industry, you know what? You know why? Like, not everybody studies the game how I study it. Because rap has been on a decline of number of sales.
Yes.
There hasn't been selling. And who's been leading that charge? Drake. Drake molded that mold of fast food. Has 100 hits in a year. That's Drake, fast food. But now what I've noticed that the executives, they've realized, yo, we haven't had a #1 hit in the last year, 2 years. You know, and the sales are way lower. You know, what the fuck is going on? There's something that's broken in the system. And I feel when Kendrick came and delivered Euphoria, which spanked fucking Drake, and then came with You Not Like Us, for which was a fucking banger at the top, like, they were like, yo, this is a perfect opportunity to reset the game. And you know what? We haven't heard of Sexy Red since then, right? Where's Sexy Red at? Kendrick tucked her away too. Remember? Kendrick tucked her away. Yo, Drake, you next to her because you want to be hot. And they haven't been heard since then. And I feel like the industry pushed Kendrick to like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to reset the game and to set a different, like, yo, let's get back to making real music again. Because it's not selling. The fake music is not selling no more.
Yeah.
Yo, Doja Cat sells fucking 40K albums first week, fool. She's the biggest shit out here. Ice Spice sold 20,000 albums first week. She's the biggest shit out here. How is that happening, fool?
I just think the way people are consuming music is different.
Exactly. So I feel like music is dying in that aura where rap is dying. And I think the industry needed to reset it. And I think that's what they did with Kendrick.
Yeah.
I think he was the perfect guy to do it with, because who could perform better than Kendrick, way? Like, I'll tell you this, Kendrick performs better than Drake on stage any day. Because he has actual theater behind it. And there's only one person that's better than Kendrick on that is Kanye West.
I've never been to a Kendrick or a Kanye concert, but I've been to a few, obviously, Drake
But
concerts.
you could see them online.
Let me tell you this. I'm agreeing with you. So we're like, I don't go to Drake concerts no more because this fool just walks around singing to bitches.
Yeah.
And I caught myself the second time I was there, like, what am I doing here, fool? Like, obviously it's dope to be around all these bitches. You could pick up on bitches from all over the world at Staples Center, which is tight. But when I'm sitting there looking at this fool, like, I'm fucking rapping the song and I'm staring at a guy with a microphone by himself looking back at me, and I'm like, this is kind of gay. Like, I don't know why I'm here. You know what I mean? And it's like, because, you know, rap has been part of my childhood since I was 10 years old,
Can't
you know?
tell.
Rap,
I can't tell about Drake is the best.
I remember the first time I heard, like, rap music. I was in my dad's car listening to Part 106, and it was Snoop Dogg and Laylo with Master P and shit like that.
Laylo.
You know, back through all that shit, growing up listening to Psycho Realm and fucking Sick Jacket, all that shit. But, like,
I have
to me, fucking, like, you know, to me, I changed as a person. So I when I listen to Tupac or Psycho Realm or this gangster shit that I was on back when I was in high school, I feel fake. Like, I'm not really part of that life. I'm not living that lifestyle no more. So sometimes I don't like to listen to that. I became a dad. I became a lover.
That's interesting.
I became a different person. So that's why I started gravitating towards Drake, because I feel like it's fake as fuck if I'm listening to gangbanging music and I'm not a gangbanger.
That's funny.
I can't do shit like that. There's a lot of gangbanger fans, gangbanging music that have never fucking gotten in a fight before, you know?
That's funny, because I look at music like movies. I love fucking Goodfellas. I don't feel like I gotta be a fucking Goodfella to like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I love Scarface. I don't feel like I love Boys in the Hood. I don't feel like I gotta be a Crip in the blood.
Even drinking, I stopped drinking for a year and I can't watch Drink Champs no more.
Drink Champs, I stopped too, because I feel like I just hate too many rappers.
That was kind of fake too, and Nori, like, he'd be like, I don't know, never mind. Anyways.
Yeah, that too, but it got to a point where it's just like kissing the rapper's ass.
Yes.
And I'm
really
like,
asking good questions.
Like,
but that's just me, fool. Like, that's how I.
Shout out to Joe Budden, the best motherfucking podcaster in hip hop history, right there.
I'm not really a big Joe Budden fan either.
But he is the guy. Remember, he's the guy that doesn't need rapper guests.
You know where he fucked up, or where I'm mad about it? He didn't fuck up. I'm mad that fool left the show Academics.
I was mad about that too.
That show was my favorite fucking. That's the only show, fool, in the last couple years where I would come home and try to watch that shit live, fool. That was a badass show. I forget what it was called.
Me too. Everyday Struggle.
Yeah, fool.
Shout out to the Deska.
Nadeska, whatever. I could have done without her, but anyways, fucking.
But you needed a mediator.
But they used to always punk on Academics. They used to gang up on this fool because he's an internet fool, you know what I mean? But that fool had a bigger fucking fan base than both of them combined. That show does not run without Academics, but it was the perfect.
Or Joe Budden, because when Joe Budden left, it crumbles.
Yeah, Joe Budden and Academics is the perfect combination.
Mixture, fool. But you have somebody that really cares about rap and breaks it down. So of course, when Kendrick murdered Drake, there's only one podcast that I want to listen to, Joe Budden's podcast, because the way he broke it down, meaning like industry shit, behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
He broke it down how it's supposed to be broken down. This is why Drake is like, he broke it down the best, fool. And that's why he's who he is.
Even as a Drake fan, fool, with the Drake tattoo and everything, I can't deny that Kendrick won that battle.
I don't think anybody could deny that, fool.
Yeah, it's like, I can't be a...
But I will say I was nervous, fool. I was nervous.
Family Matters?
When he dropped, when Drake dropped the first actual diss back, right? Where you had like that, and then you had the Drake response.
Yeah.
I was nervous because I was like, oh shit, Kendrick is taking a little long, maybe. I was like, oh shit. Like,
everybody felt the same way.
I was like, damn. But then he came Euphoria, fool. And I'm like,
regardless of who won, fool, I think it's the greatest moment in rap history in our life.
Of all time.
If not all time, maybe at least in the last 10,
All time,
20 years.
all
fool.
time, because
the things you have to do to get the people who are listening to watching
Yeah.
TikToks and Instagram, the old school people who are listening to vinyls and CDs and cassettes,
Yeah.
for the whole community to come together to watch this shit. Fool, I'm 34. I was into it. My son was into it. I coach a bunch of 13-year-olds. All of them were talking about it. Like it just gravitated. It was generational. How much people were
global.
involved. It was crazy, dog.
It's global. That's why I say it's the biggest.
So to be honest, obviously because Drake won, I'm gonna say this, but there's no winners and losers in this battle.
Hey, look, if you tell Drake, he's dropped 7, 8 singles since then.
But I'll tell you this, Drake's back on the radio. I hear him on the radio again with his new songs.
Well, yeah, of course, we signed to Universal.
Like nothing happened,
Is it? They haven't been top 5 in a long time, and Drake is Mr. Top 1.
But you're saying that Kendrick drops whenever he wants, and he's not always in the top 1 or 2.
No, when Kendrick drops, he makes hip hop stop.
But the last album that he did, the Showstopper, whatever it's called, Mr. Something.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, amazing album. I got the vinyl. Get that.
I don't think it did any type of like, I don't know. And like when you win a Pulitzer Prize, does the Pulitzer really talk about for the people, by the people? I don't think so.
It was To Pimp a Butterfly, one of the best albums crafted. And when I bumped that album too, To Pimp a Butterfly, when I heard the first record, it should made me smile for him. Oh, this was it. Like he went there. And that's an amazing album too. But I might not bump it as much as other ones, but I understand what an art piece. Same thing with to Mr. Morale. It's an art piece, fool. It's a fucking art piece. He gave you him. He didn't give you what let me go and tap dance for the white man. Now I'm gonna give you my troubles with my girl, with my aunt, and with this and that, and I'm giving you mine if you like it or not. I respect that's an artist to me, fool. That's Kanye West to me, fool.
Kanye West is different, fool.
No, that's Kanye West when they don't do the album the same twice.
I think Kanye is the greatest creative mind when it comes to fashion and music.
All time.
Obviously, maybe not a great person to deal with one-on-one. Maybe, I don't know. That's what they say online, right? But musically, it's also like when Kendrick drops music, it feels to me like it's his music. He wrote it. He probably didn't make the beat, but decided what it feels like. When Kanye drops music at this point, not the first 3 albums, but at this point, it feels like he had 150 people help him.
And I love that.
Make the
He's
music.
a conductor, fool.
He's more of a conductor than a rapper to me. You know what I mean? So it's to me that's already a different category.
Yeah.
I
I think with him, you gotta look at Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like as a conductor, and even then, I can't choose either or. I can't because Dr. Dre has fucking diamond artists, like Eminem changed the game. Snoop changed the game. 50 Cent changed the game. Kendrick changed the game.
Yeah,
you got 5 changing games.
You didn't even stop right there without even mentioning NWA, the game.
You don't even have to mention that. Kanye West had
Big Sean, Travis Scott.
No, but Travis Scott not. Yeah, that was T.I. T.I. signed Travis Scott.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was T.I. No, he wasn't. So Big Sean and
Good Music is who?
Pusha T.
And then
Tanya Taylor.
Titty Boy was his name? 2 Chainz?
2 Chainz. But
same list.
Not changing music.
Yeah.
That's why but I still fuck with Kanye West because his fashion shit, dog. Like you can't deny he has the biggest balls in the industry, fool.
Yeah.
Where this fool does whatever the fuck he wants, and motherfuckers are still gonna pack out that arena. And he's not even gonna give you a state. I'm gonna walk through this fucking dirt.
He puts the dirt.
Y'all feel gonna love it, dog. Bring my daughter out, fucking rant one day, and the whole show rant, no performance, but you're still gonna come back the next show.
Yeah.
That's Kanye West, fool. And Kanye West, that's why I love that he champions Tupac a lot. You notice a lot lately. Because I think he understands Tupac now. Like, oh shit, like get the me against the world type of shit. Because at the end of the day, when you make it to a certain level, it is you against the world. It is that. And he's breaking the boundaries on many ways for us. Kanye West is the guy, fool. So, Drake, you're just his son, fool, at the end of the day. Get the tattoo off.
There's not many things people can like throw at you to kind of knock you down, but your channel did just start 2 months ago and it's already at 100,000 views. Tell me how you got to that many views that quickly.
Well, let's start with subscribers, right? Everybody's dissing me right now, like, oh, you don't have a YouTube flag. Because I have 144, or I think, not more than that, but 44,000 subscribers. They're like, oh, how do you get, you bought them, right? You bought them. But now, actually, in December, I started watching videos about like how to monetize a faceless channel, right? With AI, with basically that AI and pictures. So I was like, fuck, let me try that shit, fool. At that point, my channel was 3,000 subscribers. Let me try it. So I started doing it, formatting it, learning from these views and these YouTube views, videos, posts, and learning like why and the psychology of why. And once I realized with that and I applied it, it just fucking took off right on YouTube. I started getting 1,000 subscribers every day, but from organic posts. So my biggest video was I took a Twitter video from Twitter. I mean from Twitter, that was a monkey. No, 30 monkeys versus a cheetah. So I took that and I put a headline over it: 30 monkeys versus a cheetah, and who's not gonna want to watch that, right? That was like a 15-second clip. I took it from there and I put it on my short, YouTube short. That motherfucker rang off for fucking days. It was like 1,000 followers every day for like probably like a month or so, dog. Like nonstop, 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 nonstop. And then I had 2, 3 viral videos that were doing. The other one did like 10 million. The other one did like 5 million. And the YouTube Cheetah one did 77 million views, right? So that's what I did, and then I applied that same strategy to TikTok, right? So like, okay, now how can I break that in TikTok? So my homie had a YouTube channel, I mean a TikTok that was 20,000 subscribers, but it's been like that for like a couple years, 20,000. Yo, let me take that shit, let me give you 30%. You know, I gave him a deal like, hey, you live in the middle of nowhere, fool. You live in the Midwest. You have no content, no original content. Let me take 70%, give me the YouTube shit. Give me the TikTok, put it under my name, everything under me, and I'll give you 30%. But now let me do it. And you know what? First month, we went from 20,000 to 40K. I have a bunch of videos that I've done over 1 million, easy. I have like 10 videos done over 1 million on TikTok alone. And it's because I formatted them how I need to format them to be able to reach the algorithms. So I run a TikTok page that has, I think, almost 100K subscribers. And then I have the YouTube. So the YouTube eventually, I was like, yo, how can I make money off this, right? And I'm like, yo, just make me a platform, dog. I need a platform. Because I feel like I needed a platform. So let me change it. Of course, they're not going to translate into views. Because a lot of those followers were because of controversy. I think I stole the full community post. Where it says Mexicans are taking all the jobs, right? And it shows that guy that killed Floyd, right? And then it shows another guy that got stabbed, right? And I think they got stabbed and by Mexicans or Latinos in prison. So I told like Mexicans are taking all the jobs, and that all the Trumpers came in there. So there was a bunch of people that were like just fucking going back and forth, arguing for days, for months over that fucking picture. Oh, technically he's not even Latino. He's actually from this race, but he's a homie. There was so many breaking down of that, and that's how I became a YouTube of 140 something subscribers. And I learned how to format stuff.
Do those videos, the cheetah videos, make money?
Nah, so this is my issue, right? I try to do original content like AI videos, and I was making money. I was starting making $1,000 here, 1,200 here, and I noticed I got striked down for, I think, an Adam 22 clip, right? And then once you get striked down, YouTube checks your channel to see what's recycled from other channels. And once you upload it to Twitter, they put a little thing on there that they know it's Twitter, that it came from Twitter. So they looked at my channel. They're like, oh shit, you have a couple of things this $70 million clip, 70 million view clip. It was from Twitter. They know. So they strike me for 3 months. I'm like, fuck. And I went from making nothing to like $1,500 on YouTube within a month or so. Like quick. I was like, oh shit. And then I got struck down. Like, damn, I had to wait 3 months. So I deleted all the fake shit, except I kept that 70 million one. It's a short. I'm like, cool. Hopefully I have original content. I have a bunch of interviews that are original. But I have that one. Let me save it. Continue building a following through it. And then I applied again and I got denied again. So I was 6 months without monetization. Like, fuck, I can't risk that no more, full, because there's a lot of work being put into this. So like, you know what? I'm gonna have to leave everything and just have my original content. And that's what I do now, you know? Let me do my own thing, and I'm already making money what I was making over there. I'm already surpassing that. So I'm like, okay, it's working, and I feel like I'm a good A&R. I'm a good A&R. I'm a great A&R with talent. I feel like everybody that I've worked with have done something, you know. Like I've only tapped in with Conejo, Baldacci, and Young Drummer Boy, and you know, and those like guys that are doing their own thing. They're making money throughout their craft, and that's who I like chose to work with because I felt like they had something that could take them beyond themselves.
Yo, yeah, you brought up A&R. Like, you also have the newest members, like Cholo Juan, right?
Cholo Juan,
Tell
yeah.
me how you met him and how is he a part of Cult Media?
So how I met him, how I found out about him was a video on YouTube years ago, 2019. He was talking about meeting Conejo's when I was in prison for like almost 30 years, and how that made him feel, like meeting, like yo, to see that homie in the yard and be so humble and shit. So I saw that video, right? I'm like, oh shit, it was funny, right? Whatever. And then when I saw him again was when Kendrick posted him. So if you guys don't know, Kendrick has a burner account. It's funny how Drake all of a sudden has one, but whatever. But Kendrick is publicly known as his burner account, and it has like millions of followers already. So he posted his inspiration for fashion, and one of the slides is Cholo Juan, right? I'm like, oh shit, is that homie? Let me tag him on that. Hey fool, whatever. Let's check. Kendrick just fucking tapped you. Oh shoot, like what the fuck? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh shit, fool, that's dope that you got referenced as an inspiration to Kendrick, fashion wise. And it's the same fit that Kendrick has on Not Like Us video. When he's doing prison videos, he's all grayed out, long sleeve, sweats, white fucking shoes, and in a prison cell. The same picture that Cholo Juan was doing in that same picture. So coincidence? What do you think?
No.
Nah, right? And so like, oh shit, fool, you inspired this fool, dog. And next thing you know, he's rocking all your shit, whatever. And then I see him at No Jumper, right? No Jumper, both. I'm like, oh shit, this was trying to get out there like that. Interesting. I was like, interesting. Saw the interview, great interview. I'm like, hey fool, what are you trying to do? You know, where do you live at? What's your situation? Like, I want to do content. I want to do shit. I want to do. Hey, pull up to the pod. Pull up right here. He saw the fuck my studio. He's like, oh shit, like this is real. Like you're in a nice area. You're in a fucking high rise. You're shit. Like dog, what the fuck? You know, I shoot with Black Magics. You know, like you're like fuck, like damn. So I told him, hey, let's do a show. So we did a show, and we did one episode with a very controversial rapper, Swifty Blue, and that shit took off. So that's how we met, like that, just like that. Just him. He's been a fan of Conejo for a long time. Conejo was his favorite rapper, so for him, it was important. Like that, I reached out, like damn, fool, and we're working now. And for me, just trying to get him off that low budget shit, like teach him the like, yo, fool, there's big money over there. If we do a clean show that's with no negativity, just positivity and good times, you know, there's a big money over here. So now it's just that battle of like helping a homie that's been institutionalized for so long and get him into the space of being able to be a show out there, like a professional show, and elevate himself.
That podcast that you're talking about with Swifty Blue and Cholo Juan, do you think that view count in that small amount of days happens on any other platform, or did you make it pop in a way? And if you did, how and what did you do?
So people will say that it popped by itself.
Right.
I think Cholo Juan would say, oh, because of me. But look at your other interviews, though. They're not that high. And look at your other engagement. They're not that high. Like the views are higher than all the other stuff. The engagement are higher. We had like 1,000 comments the first couple of days. We had like fucking 5,000, almost 5,000 likes on it. It was a lot of engagement. And it's because I formatted that way. When I edited that episode, in the clips, shout out to the full community. The full community were involved with the release of that episode.
And what way?
In one way, I gave him an exclusive clip.
Okay.
I gave him here's the clip, very controversial. He's dissing so and so and so. He's gonna get you crazy views. He's like, oh, shoot it. And I'm like, oh, go for it. So we did a collab post with the full community. where he's going crazy on foods, and that's how. And next, that everybody was expecting it. Everybody was waiting for that episode. So when I premiered that episode, I had like almost 2,000 viewers, like waiting, like watching it live with me, like while I was being premiered. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like damn, everybody was fucking waiting for that. But even with that, like that day that I recorded that episode, so I shot Swifty Blues episode, and then later on I shot Baldacci's episode, which is another big one that we had. We had a bunch of fools in the live, and so I had two controversial situations there. And I did it because like I could do what these fools low level, I could do what your low level ass fools could do, dog. Could do all that easy, dog, and I could do it better than you, and I'm more respected than you, then I have more credibility out here than you. I'm in bigger rooms than you, but I had to show them that I could do this too easy. But moving forward, I want to stay away from that.
Do you feel any obligation to where you grew up and where you're from when you interview or have people on your platform that maybe aren't the most respected and have allegations towards them, whether it's like this or that? Do you even care about that kind of stuff? Or like you just want to give the best show?
Look, if they have allegations that it cannot be like, anything like this, like pedophile or stuff like that could be proved, like it was a big risk to get Twisty Blue, right? Because nobody wanted to do stuff with Twisty Blue, right? But like, fortunately, I have a history with certain individuals that are my family, and then they're like, yo, the way you're gonna do it is, you're a businessman, and you're not co-signing anything he's saying. You can't control your guests, And I just took that route where, you know what, I'm gonna do it my way. Professionally, it's gonna be the best looking Chicano podcast. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. I cut the clips how I wanted to cut the clips. I knew the show was gold. I knew that Cholo Juan is a fucking original. He's a natural talent. For Cholo Juan is a natural fucking talent. And I knew that though, because I'm good at talent. Though. I'm good at picking talent. To this day, there hasn't been an artist that I felt like I downplayed that became something. No, everybody that I downplayed didn't become nothing. People that I said yes had became something. And one of them was Lefty Gunplay. Because shout out to Juan and Icon. We came together to do a show, and we had Lefty Gunplay, Rowdy Rack, Soul Osama. This is in December, fool. Before Soul Osama blew up, before all that shit started happening, for all these fools. But we picked out the talent, and I knew Lefty when he came in on Indicted TV. I like, oh, this fool, he's passionate, he's raw, and he's loving. He might be a ghetto motherfucker, but he's very loving. And I think that balance is what works for Lefty. That he's very raw and loving. He might be wrong on this, but his heart means well. I think that's the key right there. And for same thing for Cholo Juan, like he might be rough, rugged, but he's a loving person and he means well. And I think that dynamic is what people like love to watch them both, and they're both doing it in that level.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding that people get wrong about you?
They get wrong that I'm too street, like I'm too street. Nah, dog, I'm too LA for you. I'm way more LA than most of you fools, because I actually was raised in the center of the culture, which is the Florida district, which is on Slauson, which is the famous streets for the Imperials, the Hoovers, the Figueroas, the Gage, the Florians, these streets are iconic. The Rosecrans, these are my areas for. So people are like, yo, you too street. I'm like, nah, it's just I'm just too culture for you. And I think people they like to always box me in with that, like, you're in the Chicano rap space, and it's like, nah, I'm not. Like, I'm far from it. I might represent somebody that did Chicano rap at one point, but Conejo. But I feel like we've elevated beyond that, and I feel like it shows. I feel like it shows on the work I do, the videos, the way I shoot my videos. Like, you don't see my videos with like a bunch of gang members, and my videos we have actors in there. We have homies here playing this role, playing that role. Like we do my shit like that, and yeah, that's the biggest perception right there. I'm too street, and it's not. I'm just like I'm too South Central for fools. Basically, what it is. Because I know that for you guys, South Central is the mecca of LA. Hey, when it comes to California, South Central is the mecca of that. Like, we are the culture. We create the culture. We have the best movies about us. We have the best rappers about us. To me, like even Schoolboy Q, one of the best, probably the greatest Crip rapper of all time when it comes to creativity. Just creativity alone.
What do you think about Northern California foods, Texas foods, Arizona foods, New Mexico foods? Like, what do you think about the culture outside of LA?
Okay, Texas food's killing it. Shout out to Mexican OT. Love what he's doing. D-Baby, killing it. I love what he's doing. Shout out to Snow the Product, also from Northern California. She's from the Bay Area, I believe, right? Snow the Product?
I don't know.
I worked with her before. Shout out to her. You know, hey, me and you be texting. Into my pod. But her, no, like, I think everybody's dope. At the same time, you gotta bubble outside your city. You know, if you don't bubble outside your city, you're never gonna be nothing. And like, shout out to everybody that's rapping up north and everybody that's rapping. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it and say, yo, you gotta get your numbers up. You gotta get your viewership and you gotta get your art up. And I fuck with Texas heavy. I fuck with all the Atlanta, Cap G, you know. Shout out to Cap G, who's also tapped in with me and supported me in the past. But yeah, I fuck with everything. I love it all. The IE is buzzing. You know, the IE is buzzing with young talent. A lot of young rappers coming out of Santa Ana way. Drexler Joint is the hottest SA rapper, the hottest young rapper out of California right now. Because he was with academics. That solidified him to me.
That's crazy, huh?
That solidified him to me. I was like, hey.
I don't think no other Mexicans made it with academics.
Ever. And then the guy that says he's the face of LA, not Baldacci, the other guy that says he's the guy that the face of homie rap. Look at your numbers on Spotify and compare it to the homies, and you know you'll have your position there. Because I look at numbers, so I look at Spotify numbers. I look at a lot of numbers to see, how dope are you doing, and what cities are you popping? Because if you're not popping, if you're popping more like in India, like fake bot shit. If you're popping in LA, where you're from, that's when you know you have real engagement. I break down. I'm an analytical person.
Yeah.
I study everything, everybody that's moving, and see who's really doing it and who's not. So that's why I fuck with the food community heavy, because talking about the food community. Shout out to Juan. I love what he did before the podcast, because I didn't give a fuck about the podcast. The podcast was fucking boring as fuck to me. I was fucking heavy with the outlet food, because they were the first foods to support corridos, rap, and everything in between. You know, cultura, everything in between. They were not just promoting just Chicano rappers.
You think it was a mistake creating the podcast and the YouTube channel? They should have stuck to the Instagram memes? Or like, did it elevate or dilute the brand?
I feel like it elevated the brand. It did elevate the brand. I would say Icon did elevate the brand full. But at the same time, when you look at the podcast, it was just not a good podcast for me, fool. And in the short, how you have Fluffy so big and not translate that in numbers, like for real. How you have all these big ass guests, and because at the end of the day, like they were guest based podcasts. That's one thing that I on my primers with everybody, I tell my castmates, like, yo, we gotta be dope on our own, fool. We gotta be Joe Buttons. But Joe Budden doesn't have a guest. He'll have a guest once in every 3 months. And I think if you are able to have conversations with just your own crew, I feel like you'll go further than depending on guests. Because now you're gonna be dictated based on, okay, it's a cool guest, I'll watch it. A whack guest, I'm not watching it. And that's one thing that I learned. Like, I would like you to be part of our shit, fool. Really do. I want to have a really diverse, like my cast. Primarily, everybody is chosen. I've chose everybody's particular for certain different things. Shout out to Poncho, actor known from The Purge. His Spanish is top tier. His Spanish, he's from Jalisco, he's top tier. His English is top tier. He's a fool, but he was raised in Magdalena, Jalisco, also raised in LA. But that's why I love what he represents, and his voice is what I relate to growing up where we grew up right here. It sounds paisa, it sounds homey, it sounds everything. Same thing with Bordo. I got him from Tijuana. He's from Baja California, Tijuana.
The skinny fool?
Yeah, skinny fool, who's codiciado. He actually works for Codiciado.
Oh, yeah?
He actually dressed Codiciado and did a lot of things for Codiciado. Still to this day. We actually have an interview with Codiciado coming up.
Sick.
But shout out to El Bordo from Tijuana. Way. I chose him because he knows hip hop, dog. He knows. I feel like I could have I'm not gonna diss you, but I feel like
which one is it? The one with the braids?
the skinny one.
Okay.
The skinny one, El Bordo. Fernando. His hip hop knowledge is deeper. Not to disrespect you. Deeper than yours in the industry way. Meaning, like, I had a photo shoot with Karen Civil. I don't know if you know who Karen Civil is. She created Nipsey's career with the $100 mixtape, working with Hillary Clinton. Did the Do Weezy campaign for Lil Wayne. She handled all Nicki Minaj's shit. So I work with her, right? He knew, like, oh shit, with Karen Civil. I'm like, he hit you way, you know what's up, dog.
You're with me.
Like, you know, the guys, the people that are behind the scenes that are really the connectors.
How did he know that?
Because he studies for, he knows, like, he knows people that I mentioned. Like, he knows Joe Budden, knows this, knows that about him, knows this, knows that, knows this about Nipsey, knows this about YG, knows this about this, knows this about New York Foods, knows this about Nas, knows this about Kendrick. But on the industry level, I'm like, oh, shit. Because I could never have that conversation with nobody else. Because the only people that could have a conversation with me when it comes to that would be like a Joe Buddens and them. People on the East Coast, because I feel like they're more... The East Coast hip-hop media is up there, fool.
Well, I feel like the industry is from New York.
It is, fool.
You know, there's record labels out here, but like
They're all here. They're all here.
The people who are like Karen Civil, the people who actually work hand-to-hand combat, they live out there.
Like, all the podcasters in rap and hip-hop, the big ones are from New York, fool.
Yeah.
All of them. The Drink Champs,
Breakfast Club.
the Breakfast Club, fool. The Maul and Rory and Maul way. The Willie and that is from the East Coast. You know, the foods that are popping. The Cam one, the sports one. Like, they're all East Coast based. So, like, that's how I met Bordo like that. Because I invited him to interview him because I knew he worked with Codiciado. I knew he worked with a couple other things. And then Armando from Underground Hip Hop Blog. He's a hater.
Oh,
right?
biggest hater. I was disagreeing with that fool and everything he was saying.
But I love his shit, fool, because
he sticks with it.
He's gonna stand on his shit. He has a platform. He was the first to bring Griselda here on stage in LA. The first LA show. I was next to Benny the Butcher. I was next to Conway. I was next to West Side Gun, shooting with them. Boom, boom, boom. Intimate. I met Alchemist through him a couple times. Met a bunch of people through him. So I know he loves hip hop, like. But he's like a Drake hater.
But he hates mainstream.
He hates mainstream.
It doesn't matter if it has more numbers, more fans. Because at the end of the day, people buy it because they love it. It don't matter to him.
Yeah.
If it's at a certain level,
there's mainstream,
it's too much.
He cancels you.
Yeah.
Mainstream, he cancels you. But you know what? I love that because he creates friction within the group.
Yeah, I get it. It's entertaining though. Because you got to have someone you love, someone you hate, and someone that's like whatever.
And I feel like I'm a conductor in that situation where I don't feel like I'm the best on that part. I don't. But I feel like I'm there the best to be so comfortable with the homies to where I could spark the best out of them. And that's what I'm there for, dog.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for, a pod that represents the community and in a better way with a more like interesting factor to it. And you know what? I'm getting a lot of love behind the scenes. Like, hey, you're dynamic and the topics you guys choose better than the low budget ass food that we were just talking about. So and so rapper with a little bit of followers.
Why did you pick the angle as far as like the camera over behind you like that?
Well, sometimes it's behind me, sometimes it's in front of me, right? Depending how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I like that because, you know, it just feels like you feel very personable when you're like on the computer with the camera right there. I like that because I'm seeing everybody's comments and I'm able to bring these comments and throw them to the homies so they could react and then we could have a moment.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's behind me because sometimes I want to talk to the person and argue with somebody very, very well. But I don't know. What do you think, Phil? What do you think it would be a best angle? I thought about sitting in the couch.
I mean, obviously, if it was easy, multiple with a camera switcher would be good. But you would have somebody have to sit there and switch it, right? That would be the most like professional, I guess. But you facing the computer and everyone behind you, I think just seems. It feels like when I'm watching it on my TV, right, and you guys are facing this way, it feels like I'm there with you, fools. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which is.
And you know, your opinion doesn't matter to me because you like you said, you study this podcast shit. You know what you like, so it matters to me.
Because sometimes I still watch the podcast, even though like a lot of the time I was looking at the back of your head. But I'm not gonna lie, it was bothering me a little bit. Like, man, this one needs to turn around. You know what I mean?
I heard that too.
But also, it's hard for you to be in the conversation when everyone has your back to everybody, right? So you'd have to like go back and forth, which makes it kind of a little bit awkward.
I gotta find what works for me because I still not sure. And I'm learning. I'm new to this podcast game.
How's the live stream shape versus the pre-recorded pods? What have you learned?
I love the live stream energy. You can't fake that. You can't fake it, and then you know what? You're responsible for what you say and like editing. And I know it's gonna be tough to get certain guests because I don't think I could get Conejo live. I don't think so. I think he'll do it pre-recorded, but I think that the rawness of it. I think that's what I fuck with it the most.
Man,
what do you think?
What's the right word? I'm not. I may be a little bit jealous, but the fact that you have your crew show up, is it weekly?
Weekly. Bi-weekly. Twice, but I cut one to one day now.
Because it's hard to do even once a week, and you're doing twice a week. To have fools be able to show, because I've had co-hosts before or shows before, and at the end of the day, it falls apart because hey, I can't make it this week. Oh, I can't make it this week. Hey, last second, fool, something came up. I can't.
Yeah.
It's getting the logistics of getting everybody to show up for something that maybe may not make money for a while. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get that. So lately, I've been rocking solo. I'll invite a couple fools here and there, but I've been rocking solo because I can count on myself to be consistent.
I think you're enough though. I think you're enough.
But I feel like sometimes with the interviews, it's like it's harder to give them a part of like. I feel like my podcast could be more famous if I was more famous, and it's hard for me to be out there. I can't interview myself.
I'm the call, fool.
I can't interview myself.
Come to call, homie. Come to call.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? I'm even thinking about this. Fool. Let's do something like a co-produced thing where let's do it in my studio and we could get it on the business side like 50-50.
I'm down.
And I love your energy and see. Right now, I love this conversation, because I feel like we're having like great conversation with substance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things that I want to do. With my homies, it's like a cotorrear, way. Like and the homie drives from Tijuana twice a week, fool. I'm like, ay, way. But you know what? He's like, yo, fool, I know what you're doing. I see it. Like, I see what you're doing. Like, I see it. I see the numbers. I see, like, oh, shit, there's traction that he likes to show. And, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, fool, because sometimes I don't feel like I carry everything.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, it's my studio, it's my setup. I gotta sometimes prep the show, you know. But now I have two interns. I finally got two interns that work for media companies that I want to model over. Like, one of them works for, I don't even know, Suburban LA. Well, that's another media company, right? You don't know about it, but they have deals with the Clippers, so they're making money. They're making money. That's why I was telling Cholo Juan, like, fool, like. Not only the controversy, the ones that make money. The ones that make money are that they know how to do good content and attach it to a big brand. Because no big brand's gonna touch you if you don't know how to. If you do controversial content like that. If you're doing gangsta, you're never gonna get a branding deal. You can't tell. Look, question: Do you feel like who do you feel is the most, the one that's generating the most money out of all the Chicano podcasters?
Who's making
on the podcast itself?
Who's making money?
Or who does feel that is actually doing something and like working successfully, and you feel like is a good.
Would you consider B Real a Chicano podcast?
Yes, well, I will consider him. Yeah, for sure. Because look,
he's Cuban, but still like he's.
No, he's Chicano. Way look, when I said Chicano rap was dead, B Real came out the woodwork to say, "Yo, I'm Chicano, so bring me in that conversation."
Sick.
And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, fool. You're right. You should be a top one or two."
I was there yesterday, fool. That fool setup is crazy. Like it's real professional.
I had a smoke out with that fool. With me and Conejo, we did the smoke out with him. So if you see Conejo's episode, I'm the one wearing the prime shirt in the back with the ski masks. And that's my idea, fool. Like, hey, me and Jay, I'm like, yo, fool, us ski masks in the back. And you know what? When B Real saw it, he was like, oh, that's dope. Yo, we had a whole photo shoot with us in the back. Like, he's like, yo, fool, no one has ever done that. Like, yeah, I'm the creative director, you know? Like I wanted it to be different.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, yeah, shout out to fucking B Real. B Real's a homie. I don't know if he knows me, but, you know, we've been like 4 or 5 times hanging out in intimate settings, you know,
Yeah.
like in the studio with him and Conejo. I've been in the studio with DJ Muggs. I've been in the studio with these people like that, you know, and I appreciate every moment of that, for sure.
I feel like sometimes Chicano talent is more of like flavor of the month. Like they'll go to No Jumper.
Yeah.
They'll go to different podcasts.
It is flavor of the month.
You know, it's a lot of like fucking crumble cookies. Like this month we came out with this flavor, fool, but it's still sugar, flour, and fucking whatever flavor, you know?
Yeah.
Just a different icing on top. Whether you're from the IE, the San Fernando Valley, the LA, whatever it is. But there's not really a big network that people go to, like a hub, that like these fools are making bank, making bread, they dress fresh, they have expensive clothes on. Like, it's feel like we're not there yet, and it's because...
We're trying to do that call, fool.
It's because I think a lot of the food podcasts focus a lot on gangs, even though gangs is like knitted in the stitching of our culture.
It is, big time.
It is like you can't get away from it, you can't deny it. But like they make it almost all about gang shit, and
It's a crutch, too. It's a crutch.
They fucking apply the rules from that shit to podcasting, and as soon as we could find a way to be more delicate and more crafted, more like blended together without being so black and white as far as the lines, I think that's when the podcast culture will elevate. And we gotta have more white fools and more black fools and more Asian fools to mingle with, because when we're at our jobs, fool, and our coworkers are Filipino and black, and we get along with these fools, we find out that, hey, yeah, we grew up in different sections, but we're fucking very similar at the end of the day. And I think once the fools stop being so food heavy and kind of cross pollinate where it comes to different cultures, I think that's when we could really start making money.
I believe that too. That's why I my kids, how I raise them. I have a daughter and my son. I when I take them to a park, I take them to the park in Griffith Park because everybody's culture is there, and I want them to see themselves. Because you know how a lot of Latinos tend to kind of be the servant mentality, of like I'm here to serve you type of shit, and we have that. A lot of us don't. A lot of us have it without even realizing it. When we know that when we step into a room full of white people.
Or at the
Right?
mall, a white mall or something.
Or a white mall, or you're in a meeting with like billionaires or millionaires, and then you're like, oh shit, you tend to get into your like yes sir, not like verbally, but on some like
Show you I'm valuable.
yeah, let me show you I'm valuable, and instead of like yo, it's be yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're here. The reason why they're next to you, because hey, you speak up, and that's what I do want to teach for like being comfortable around other ethnicities, you know.
Speaking about like channels like the food community and another example would be 44 Vato. How do you feel about podcasters or talent not showing their face on camera but talking about issues that can either get someone hurt or in trouble or just topics that are a little bit more taboo?
Sheesh. I just feel like it's another style of content, fool. And I get it, look, it's the same thing as somebody's trolling online, you know, talking shit. I just feel like it's just more, yeah. I thought about it how you thought about it, like having no accountability and just being behind the camera, but I feel like if you balance it out with the good things as well, that should be a good balance, because we're not perfect, you know?
Yeah, but you know,
What do you think?
troll podcasting is a crazy term that you just said right now that you just invented, and it's like
Troll podcast, the beavers in the chat.
like a troll, right? Is someone with a fake account talking shit, right? Which you could say maybe someone who doesn't show their face is also a troll podcaster, but the food community and 44 Vato don't really be saying nothing bad about people, but they report the news that's crazy.
That's a little scandalous.
Cartel shit, people dissing each other, right? They're not technically talking shit about no one. They're
Yeah.
not giving their opinion about shit. They're just reporting on the news.
But if it ain't them, it's gonna be somebody else. Fool. And I feel like it's better to have our own people at least benefit from that. As long as they don't add their own little 2 cents where they're like dissing an organization or dissing people. I think it's better us than them. And it's funny because of the whole Adam thing, right? Like Adam gets away with a lot of shit. Adam literally runs LA media, fool, when it comes to it, because no, LA YouTube media. I'm not gonna say media. LA YouTube media, because he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He'll hire a new gang member every day. It's a new gang member, and you know he's smart, fool. He'll hire gang members from certain sets that you cannot say nothing to. There's certain sets that you cannot say something to, and he's very picks those guys very strategically. And you know what? Hey, Adam, hey, you're the biggest pimp out here, fool. Hey, props to you, dog.
The biggest pimp out here is crazy.
You know what I mean?
I used to watch that for a lot, dog. I just ever since I think when
You're a Drake fan, you're an Adam fan. What's going on, fool?
when AD, T-Rail, and Duno left,
Shout out to Duno, to the homie right there, fool.
I was his first podcast. He was 18 years old. I interviewed him here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but you know, whatever.
Duno, tap in, fool.
Fucking when those fools left, I feel like, man, it felt wrong to keep watching it. Again, fool, it's one of those things where like I can't listen to gangster music no more, or like crazy
Interesting.
drinky shit, because I don't do that shit like no more, right? I don't fuck around like that. So we're like, I don't know. It's hard for me to listen to him now. I feel like that fool's fake. Like it's all a show. I thought it was different.
You thought it was different, interesting, fool. That's very interesting. Because I think everything was the same.
I think a lot of people can just take it as entertainment and just be entertained. And there's some things that I can't.
Shout out to T-Rail, though. That was the homie, dog. Shout out to T-Rail. Like, I met T-Rail like twice already. First time I met him, you know, dope ass homie, good ass energy. And then I met him at the BET Awards again. And you know what? Him and Heather. Shout out to Heather. They recognized me. Hey, Prime God. Oh shit. They gave me a great smile. Bam, bam, bam. Dapped me out. What up, fool? And took a picture of them. Bam, because I was working for BT. That's one thing about me, fool. You low level ass motherfuckers. Tell me when TD calls you to invite you to an event. Let me know when BT or any of these networks, Amazon calls you to an event. That means you mean something, dog. Look, get your bars up, dog. Yeah. But look, so shout out to them. Shout out to Duno. Shout out to AD. Shout out to what they're doing over there. I love what they're doing over there, fool. And I would like for the homies to see that too. And like they're giving you a model like, yo, we could do it our own as well, dog. And You know, there's still controversial here and there, but for the most part, I love their content.
Who are the most inspirational podcasters for you?
Inspirational. I want to say Academics is one. Joe Buttons is another one. Joe Rogan is another one. Charlamagne is another one. Andrew Schultz is another one. Because remember, I'm episode 1 of Joe Budden podcast. Like, I'm episode 1. I'm episode 1 of The Brilliant Idiots, episode 1. I'm episode 1 on a lot of these. I'm episode 1 on Drink Champs, episode 1. Because like before I started listening to them, before they were being created, I was heavily on New York radio. I love Hot 97, you know? And my homegirl, okay, that's how I started podcasting, right? I interned for my homeboy who works for Joe Coy. He was part of the Joe Coy podcast. He was a producer. Ernie. Shout out to Ernie. He was the main producer. And I'm like, oh shit, he was Mexican and producing. Let me reach out. So I interned for Ernie for years. So I interned as a grown-ass man.
No pay.
No pay. But I was having fun there, fool. I was learning. I was around comedians. I was around white people. Everybody else, you know? And then eventually Marissa, she was the original creator of the Joe Budden podcast. It was her and Joe. That was her first. That was the original show. The girl with the red hair. It was her and him when they launched episode 1, and eventually they had a fallout. And then she went she works for Double XL right now. And now she's in LA. She worked at Dash Radio, and I reached out to her. Yo, I know you moved to LA. Yo, I do producing already. I really do this, and she's like, oh shit, well pull up. Next thing you know, I'm hanging out with fucking Amber Rose, 21 Savage. I'm at the slut walk with them, walking with them. God damn. I'm working with...
You dressed up too?
No, I'm actually shooting the whole thing. Hey, those look like this, fool. and being working with her, like, I put myself in situations where I was uncomfortable, fool. And that's one of the measures that I want to give everybody, dog, like, because I know we're wrapping it up. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you could grow. Because us as Latinos, we tend to kind of box in and only get in with people who we are comfortable with. But put yourself in there uncomfortable of being an intern for somebody, putting yourself as an assistant photographer, assistant videographer to learn things, and put your ego to the side for it. And you'll know that you'll learn, and you'll meet people that will assist you in your journey. And I feel like that's one thing that I learned, that I do good work, so people have assisted me in my journey and to where I'm at now. And I'm here at the It's Lit podcast, one of the best podcasts out here in LA, dog. Shout out to the homie, signed to Cool Media. I'm about to give him a deal that he can't refuse.
$1 million deal.
Shout out to the homie, though, but I really fuck with you, fool.
I
appreciate you opening the doors here, and you're one of the people that I reach. Look, I don't reach out to people, but I feel like, I feel a great talker. I could have a good conversation with the homie about where we're trying to go.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let them know where they can find you and what you got coming out next.
Find me at PrimeGod87 on Instagram, and you can find me at Cool Media on everything. And shout out to all the homies, shout out to all the podcasters, regardless if you guys don't like me or not. I fuck with all of y'all. You guys are trying to feed your family, so that's dope to me. But at the end of the day, dog, you're not like us, homie. Hey, homie, put that tattoo away, dog.
Hey, pull up, trying to stay lit, leave a comment. Peace out. Talk to you guys later. Peace.